Today, we're going to be talking about some of the best games coming out in November. Welcome back. I'm Morgan, and kicking things off for the month is going to be the Talos Principle 2. This is a puzzle-solving game that takes place thousands of years into the future. At this point, all biological humans are gone, but the human culture lives on in the machines. You're tasked with solving puzzles to answer the questions about the nature of the cosmos. The choices made throughout your journey will directly impact the ending you receive. This game has a stunning world design featuring a mixture of ancient Earth and modern technologies that you will be free to explore as you work your way through this puzzling journey. The original Talos Principle received very positive reviews on Steam, and we expect this one will do the same. You can start solving puzzles on November 2nd. Up next is a classic remake, Star Ocean SecondStoryR. The original Star Ocean Second Story was released back in 1999 and was a beloved title by many. Now, this one packs some major updates, and one of the first changes you'll notice is the updated environment. The game has combined the original 2D pixel characters into a 3D world. Some of the other major improvements are on the quality of life side, such as the auto-equip wizard, location-granting EXP spots, fast travel, no random encounters, and fishing! Finally, they have reworked the combat system and it feels way better this time around. All in all, this game has received a lot of major updates, and if you were a fan of the original, you might want to check this one out. It's going to be releasing on November the 2nd. Farming its way onto the list is My Time at Sandrock. This one is a sandbox RPG that is the successor to My Time at Portia. This time around, it will be taking place in a post-apocalyptic world where you have been tasked to rebuild the town of Sandrock. One of the major differences this time around will be the scarcity of resources due to the rough desert environment. Some of the things you'll be able to do is gather resources, slay monsters, farm, and fish as you rebuild the town back to how it was before the apocalypse. One of the other key factors in this game is managing relations with the local townsfolk, as these will net you discounts for purchases and could even potentially lead to marriages, which gives you a little extra help around the home with those day-to-day tasks. You can prepare your tools to dig into this one on November 2nd. Prepare to don a body of armor in Robocop RougeCity. After a recent pushback of the release date, it looks like fans are finally going to be able to get their hands on the first-person shooter. This game is going to take place in Detroit during the early 90s as you take on the role of Robocop, set sometime between the second and third movie. Some of the core elements of this game will have you conducting investigations, clearing the city of criminals, and giving out parking tickets, because this town clearly doesn't have enough meter maids. While doing side quests, you will have the option to resolve things peacefully or through violence, and depending on the choices you make during these interactions, it will affect the ending you receive. As Robocop, you will be armed with several abilities including night vision and a flashbang shockwave. On top of that, you can slow down time in order to clear areas quickly. For all the Robocop fans out there looking to relive the early 90s, this game is set to launch on November 2nd. Back for blood and glory, we've got Achilles, Legends Untold. In this isometric ARPG, you take on the role of Achilles after he's returned from the War of Troy. You've returned to find that your homeland has been plunged into chaos, and you're the one that must save the world from its impending doom. One of the core differences that truly separates this game from others is the Souls-like combat system. This game has a variety of different enemies, and you will need to learn their distinctive attack patterns in order to survive. Now, an area this game seems to fall short is the lack of simple things such as a map. It's easy to get lost as you teleport to locations and don't always remember which location has the place you're looking for. The game has received mostly positive reviews during its early access, and I could see with a little more polishing, it having great potential. You'll be able to stab your enemies on November 2nd. Moving into the darker side of things, we've got Quantum Error. This one is a sci-fi horror game that starts off in San Francisco during 2149. You'll be playing as Captain Jacob Thomas, a local firefighter who's received orders from the fire chief to aid a research facility that has become engulfed in flames. What was supposed to be a normal task quickly takes a turn for the worst, beginning your journey into a cosmic nightmare as you attempt to survive other worlds. If you're looking for a new horror game to check out, based off what we've seen so far, this one seems pretty good. You can don your firefighter suit and battle aliens on November the 3rd. Shaking things up next, we've got WarioWare Move It. If you've been wanting a new party game to add to your Switch collection, this one could offer up a few good laughs. This game is going to feature over 200 lightning rounds of micro games that will have you mimicking various positions or creating certain movements in order to complete a task. You'll be able to enjoy this one with up to 4 players locally. You can prepare to make funny poses and laugh with your friends and kids on November 3rd. Be prepared to explore in The Invincible. In this adventure game, you're playing as Yasna, a crew member aboard the ship Invincible. You're tasked with exploring the planet Regis 3 in search of your missing crewmates, while an unknown threat looms in the background. Fortunately, you won't be completely alone, as Novik, the ship's navigator, will help guide you on your mission. Armed with several tools such as a scanner and handheld telescope, you begin surveying this alien landscape. In this game, you'll be forced to make choices along the way. This creates branching storylines based off those decisions. This game will have you set to explore on November 6th. Slaying ghosts is just part of the job in Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. This game is an action RPG that has similar gameplay mechanics to the God of War games. The story revolves around two ghost hunters, Antea and Red. They have been tasked to investigate this small community of New Eden, which just so happens to be haunted. During the investigation, things take a turn for the worst, and Antea gets turned into a ghost. While playing, you have access to both Antea and Red, which you can seamlessly swap between in combat. Red uses more conventional weapons, while Antea gives you access to the spirit abilities. This one is looking really good, and I'd highly recommend checking it out. You can grab a musket and vanquish evil spirits on November the 7th. Up next is Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. This action-adventure game is a spin-off of the Like a Dragon series, taking place after Yakuza 6. This time around, you'll follow the story of Kazuma Kairu, currently going by the alias Joiru. After faking his death in order to protect his children, he went into hiding and began working as an agent for the Daijiao faction. Now, when things on a mission go awry, he's been forced out of hiding to deal with this new threat. Joiru has two fighting styles he can seamlessly swap between: Yakuza, which is an aggressive street brawler, and Agent, which relies on gadgets like rocket shoes and drones. Outside of the main story, you'll be able to entertain yourself with several other activities, like karaoke, pocket circuit racing, and of course, the fighting arena. But you know the first rule about Fight Club is, we don't talk about Fight Club. Be prepared to don your rocket shoes on November 9th. This next game needs no introduction, as it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The famous first-person shooter has returned with a few changes, but overall it's the same game you've grown accustomed to. The main story this time around has decided to change things up, as they'll be introducing open combat missions, which differs from the traditional linear mission paths. Now, for the part of the game most people come for, on the multiplayer side, they'll be bringing back 30 original weapons from Modern Warfare 2 and all of the maps from the 2009 edition. Some of the new changes they have done is increase the health to expand on the time to kill, and there's been a slight change to the movement. For those interested in zombies, they will be returning, however, it's going to be in the open environment, so if you're looking for traditional zombie experience, you might want to hold off. Warzone is also going to be returning with a new map for all those looking to drop in. If you're looking to add this one to your collection, it's releasing on November the 10th. Another remake making the list this month is Super Mario RPG. Now this is one fans have been waiting a long time to see get remade, and it's great to see that this finally happened. This is an RPG developed by Square set in the Mario universe. This one is a turn-based game with a roster of 5 party members, including Mario, Princess Peach, Bowser, Mallow, and Gino. Some of the new features this time around include the triple move gauge, which creates a special attack when filled, and this attack will vary based on the current lineup you have in your party. Another feature is the perfect timed attacks now damage all the enemies. Once you've finally completed the game, you'll be able to re-challenge the bosses, but this time they will be at an increased difficulty. You'll be able to team up in this RPG adventure on November the 17th. The Phantom Thieves of Hearts are back again in Persona 5 Tactica. In this tactical RPG, the Phantom Thieves have been displaced into an alternate medieval Europe. There, they decide to join forces with the Rebel Corps to bring down an enemy known as the Legionaries. The combat system is grid-based, where placing your squad appropriately makes all the difference. You can hide behind cover to avoid damage or surround the enemy and deploy a special move called the Triple Threat to deliver maximum damage. You are able to perform a move and action on each turn, so be sure to take advantage of every opportunity presented. You can expect to overwhelm your enemies with flashy tactics on November the 17th. Calling all Space Marines, we've got Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin. This is a real-time strategy split between 4 separate factions. There's Stormcast Eternals, Cruel Boys, Nighthaunt, and Disciples of Tinzik. The gameplay centers around controlling resource points and capturing critical locations. You will use the resources you gain from point control to purchase items such as abilities and upgrades. One of the major elements that separates this RTS from its traditional counterparts is there's no base building. Instead, you build on captured points by placing your resource generators, turrets, and more. For all of our Warhammer fans looking to take part in the first RTS in the Age of Sigmar, you'll be able to do so on November 17th. Attempting to bring out your inner archer? We've got the Gangs of Sherwood. This one is an action RPG that takes place in the world of Robin Hood. The Sheriff of Nottingham has acquired the Philosopher's Stone and used it to enhance his armies to oppress the people of England. You must step in and put an end to this tyrannical system. You'll have the option between 4 different characters that each have their own combat style: Robin, Tuck, Maid Marian, and Little John. As you improve in reputation, you'll unlock new upgrades that can create devastating combos. In between missions, you'll return to the hideout where you can swap between different adventurers, test out your combos in the training grounds, purchase upgrades to your equipment, and customize your skills. If you want to play this game with your friends, there's a co-op mode with up to 4 players. Unfortunately, this game has garnered a lot of negative feedback for bugs and bad voice acting, which hopefully they can get ironed out. You'll be able to jump into the world of Robin Hood on November 30th. Today we've got an extra game going in the bonus section, and that's going to be the day before. The reason we have this game on a bonus list is because it's currently still tied up in legal issues over copyright infringement for its name. On top of that, they haven't released any information since February. At this point in time, we can only assume this game will either be delayed at best or canceled at worst. As far as what the game is about, it's a multiplayer open-world survival horror game that takes place in a post-apocalyptic United States. Currently, that's all the information we have on this title, and as of now, it's still set to be released on November the 10th. That's going to wrap things up for this list. Make sure to let us know in the comments down below which games you're most excited in trying out. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, be sure to do so that way you'll know when all the new videos come out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.